let's take just a minute and talk about Rick Rude. Unfortunately, he passed away about 3 weeks prior to this, April 20th, 1999. I don't know why I remember this, but that was actually the day of Columbine, now that I think about it. But Rick Rude passing away, man, so early, so young, so talented, just a real damn tragedy. You got any good Rick Rude stories you can share with us?
Well, the first time I met Rick was, oh, Conrad, on your Google machine. When did he debut in Memphis? Because I feel like I was in like eighth or ninth, maybe seventh, eighth, ninth. Anyway, middle school, early high school. But anyway, he came to the house with his girlfriend slash valet, Angel. And he had not been in the business long, but man, my dad just was, he just said, man, he's got Hollywood looks. He's a legit badass. He wants to learn. He's got the pedigree and the mindset. He was super. I mean, he was so bullish on him. He's like, that guy's going to be a major star. That was my first being around him. And then Rick.
Would you say January of 84 sounds right?
Yes. There you go. I knew it was some, and he got.
You know what's crazy? I think he debuted the same day Hulkamania started. I think his Memphis debut was the same day Hogan beat Sheik.
No way.
Yeah.
But I mean, he fast tracked to the big. I mean, and he was always unique through the years that I would get to hear my father, the way he would frame talent. It was always, and there's just the different tag teams or heels or baby faces. But man, he loved Rick Rude and really thought he's going to be super successful. And obviously it wasn't too long after that, he got his ride and got his ticket, started making big money.
Yeah. By the end of 84. So he starts with your dad in January of 84. And by December, he's at the Louisville Gardens in the Mid-South Coliseum challenging Jerry Lawler for the championship of the territory. Quite a year he had in 84 in Memphis. And it sounds like he made an impression on the whole Jarrett family.
He did. And when did he start with WWF?
I don't recall.
Okay. Yeah. I just didn't know if he had it. It wasn't long.
Well, I mean, he went to World Class and then he did the the Crockett territory and then he went. So we're a few years away, but
it was, he
megastar.
He was a fast track. Yeah. And when he passed, it was one of those things, Conrad, that it was like
87, June of 87.
It was, he passed it. It was almost like, oh, wow. You didn't, in my mind. So this in 99, you didn't even think of, certainly would think of how many more were to come. But man, God rest his soul, a good man. He disease of addiction, one-on-one, it's undefeated.
Well, it's a sad moment in wrestling history. 1999, we lost so many guys. I mean, we're just talking about it. We're only 13 days away from losing Owen as we watch this. And just 3 weeks prior, we lost Rick Rude. It's just, it sucks, man. Hey, let's also mention Owen, because you guys are, I don't know, we're like 2 weeks removed from the pay-per-view Backlash. And that's where you and Owen as a tag team on TV effectively ends. Now I know you're going to be working together on house shows, but the New Age Outlaws would beat you guys in the Backlash show. But the idea being the winner was going to challenge Kane and X-Pac for the tag titles at the UPN special at the end of the month. And, of course you guys lose. And that's when Owen Hart sort of moves to be the Blue Blazer. And that UPN special was effectively like the pilot for SmackDown. What was your reaction to seeing that? Hey, we're going to be maybe less of a tag team on TV. Which, I mean, we're even going to see you in singles action on this. So we know Owen's working the dark match, but the Blue Blazer, what did you think of Owen doing the Blue Blazer again?
Well, it's crazy to say this, but it was certainly reality based because Owen did have issues, pretty appropriate as we watch Deborah and Sable, I'll say all the cleavage being shown, all the language, the violence involving women. Owen was not a fan of that. And it was pitched to us, and it was understood that, hey, because we're both single wrestlers, we both had single careers. And that right now, Owen's going to go down this Blue Blazer storyline, but Jeff, you're going to be involved in this. And Jeff, you're going to be heading down to a storyline. Deborah was still my manager. And Owen, you're going to be a part of this because you've got an issue with basically the tone of the Attitude Era. So we were still going to be connected storyline wise, just not wrestling as a tag team every week.
Let's also mention that we got Deborah in the ring right now. Of course, she was a big part of your tag team and your presentation during that match with Owen Hart and the New Age Outlaws. There was a lot of "we want puppies" chants. She's over like Rover here. See them plugging Over the Edge, the upcoming pay-per-view. Her opponent is going to be the women's champion, Sable, who's now kind of a heel. And she's got her own heater in Nicole Bass. I say kind of a heel because, well, men are still cheering. They're excited to see her. As you see her come out, swiveling her hips around in a bikini top or a bikini bottom and some sort of little cover up, some sunglasses, some high heels, and the championship. Meanwhile, there was an evening gown match, like a very traditional evening gown match. Bra and panties matches. I mean, it was a different era. I mean, when you start your own wrestling promotion, we have a double entendre as a name and we got girls in cages. So we're not judging it necessarily. We're just saying, hey, this is what was working. And a lot of times in business, you try things, you do more of what works, you do less of what doesn't. And these segments, whether we like them or not now, whether they age well or not now, they were doing monster quarter hours, were they not?
Yes. And it was a spectacle. That's where, again, doing the podcast and doing the deep dives. And we jumped from a TNA episode to me returning to WWE to just all the different, a Moondog episode. When we're doing the watch along of a Raw 25 years ago that sold out, and you see a 20-minute opening in ring of matches being made, we didn't even touch on the Paul Bearer match. I mean, Paul Bearer, Percy Pringle back in the day, but I mean, him being in a match was a complete spectacle. It had nothing to do with bell to bell action. And this spectacle here, Deborah Sable for a women's title. I mean, do you have any Meltzer comments? Because this is the type of stuff that the Meltzers of the world that just despise. He hated this stuff. And born and raised in Memphis, my father always taught me, and you could kind of look at the success. You can have a knockdown, drag out, Lawler versus Dundee, a Dutch Mantell versus Ken Lucas, a great tag match, a good opening match. You can have a little bit of hardcore, but you can also have the women's cat fight. You better have a little bit of everything. Back to that focus group, Connie, that you've got to appeal to the masses, and appealing to the masses sometimes really raises some people's feathers and ruffles their feathers, and they don't like it. As we see Val Venus come down to the ring before an evening game. I mean, this is, I hate to say peak Attitude Era, but man, the characters, it just kind of led to, do you have a stat on this, Conrad? I don't know. I was wondering about doing the research, the amount of wrestling on this Monday Night Raw.
I don't know the exact number, but as we're watching, we see Sable stripping Deborah down to her bra and panties. She's got a thong bottom on.
Neither one of them left their feet.
And this is actually, so they're now announcing, and Kyoto's raising Sable's hand that she won because she got the dress off because Val was distracted. But Sean is going to come in the ring and say, we want to see puppies. And since I'm the commissioner, basically the lady who showed us those puppies, well, she wins. Oh,
wait,
poor Val Venus just got a guitar necklace.
Can we rewind that?
And how about the "Don't Piss Me Off" shirt that you're wearing there? And now you've got a new shirt that says "Don't Tick Me Off."